running late.
So we'll call the meeting to order and hopefully they jump in momentarily. Do we have anybody from the outside public attending?
No, we do not.
Okay, then the minutes, I know, Peter, you sent some corrections out.
Yes, I sent them out mostly because I wasn't sure that we got the intent correct. I think that there was a small note I made on the elementary school. I think we decided not to do it because people were back in work and they couldn't leave in the middle of the day like they could when we did it last year. I think that was part of the discussion, and I'm not sure that Professor Kipp had actually said that they can be both in a park and a school can be done. I don't know what the intent was, that the parks are okay, but we decided to do it in the school. So I don't know that, Darlene, if you had the if you have a recording or not on that.
I do.
You might just check it for clarity. I don't really know what Erica meant.
So you mean, I think she was saying that we could do both. We didn't have to decide to do one or the other, but I can go back and check.
Right, because I think we just decided to go at Cranberry School and be done with it.
Okay, I can go back.
Okay. And then the old other new business, I made the point about looking at the carpinus trees because they don't always make good small trees. And I just want to know, I just wanted to get in the record why, why I made the point. And that we might have to look at alternative trees in the future for small locations. And so the corrections I gave you, I think are clear. You can wordsmith anything you like.
Okay.
And then I just don't know how Chris's comment fit in on that. Mr. Torrey added, we will still have the tree planting summit with more stakeholders. I don't know if that was in response to the trees at the Maritime Center, or it just, there's a little disjunct in that, how they flow together. It might have been its own little point, or maybe take my point out of that paragraph, put it below,
Okay.
which might just bring clarity. If anyone ever goes back and reads them.
Okay, but we can't approve them now because of not having a quorum.
No,
Okay.
so
So I'll have to table it till
Or do
next
you-
meeting.
Or do you,
modified,
or
but
do you,
not approved. No, we don't have a quorum, Pete.
okay, but do you make the quasi corrections and send them out before the next meeting as well?
Correct,
Yes.
please.
Hey, Rich, Diane Lauratello is here. Should I let her speak?
Yeah, went over that, but ask her if she has.
Hi, Diane, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. The only reason I came on board is I had the time. Just wanted to thank everybody on the Tree Advisory Committee, because you guys are, a lot of folks don't know you exist enough of the public. And
Diane, you
I
with
was really impressed by all the hard work, especially related to the tree ordinance. I know there's more work to be done there, but it was a good beginning. And I know folks like Pete and Mr. Whitehead, others, the chairwoman worked really hard, and I just wanted to appreciate that because Thanksgiving is coming and I was giving gratitude to this committee.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Have
Nice
a
to
good
hear
one.
from you. Nice to hear from you. But we need to know what that image is, Diane. I'm a little confused.
It's my neighbor's little dog that I walk on occasion. He was sleeping and I thought, what a sweet little face or head.
Okay.
I don't see any ticks on him. He's okay.
All good. It's all good.
Okay, so we're gonna move to update on capital tree planting budget.
Okay, as far as the program, basically, we added some trees that were planted. The total right now hasn't changed from last month. We had said that we're going to be planting 75 trees, but we've now planted 72 of the 75, and there's 3 of them that are still on order right now. There's 2 of them that are over on Cannon Street and 1 over on Cassuth Street. The Cannon Street is the 2 cherry laurels.
Those are the remaining 2 out of the fall.
Out of the fall planting. We do have some others that we could still try and do if we wanted to, but I'm talking with Gary about whether he feels comfortable doing them or not, and some of those would be on East Avenue.
Okay. I think we're down to the wire for putting more stuff in.
Yeah, it's starting to get pretty close. What do you guys think? Are we beyond the time? I know it's basically frost, but we really haven't had a hard frost yet. What are your thoughts?
I think we could still get a few in, but I think just the coordination and the availability of stock, I wouldn't promise anything without checking with Gary to see what the availability is, just because I've spoken with some other people. And the nurseries so late into the season aren't taking on new stock. So what you're going to find is primarily going to be leftover stock.
Right.
Okay,
From there,
They're trying to limit what they have to overwinter or keep in their yards. So trying to find decent stock this late into the season is really a challenge. And I think Gary might concur with that. So I wouldn't commit to any orders without speaking with him prior.
I mean,
okay, what I'll do is I'll basically tell him that if he's comfortable with it and willing to warranty it, fine, as long as it's good stock. Otherwise, if he's not comfortable with the warranty, obviously he's not gonna do it, then we'll wait till spring.
Yeah, defer till the spring planting would be my suggestion, unless he's extremely comfortable and he knows he has readily available stock for it.
right.
Okay,
And then promotion of the tree planting program.
what I'm gonna do is I talked with Josh Morgan. I was at an event a couple of weeks ago with him, and then I saw him last week at the swearing in ceremony inauguration for the mayor. And he said when we're finally done for this season, he will put a story together and send it out, a press release related to the final tally of what we do for the season. So I'm working with him on that to try and get some publicity and promotion for the planting program.
Yeah, record year for us. So it'd be great to get it promoted. And then Olmsted update. I don't know if they've done any watering.
Okay, I'm gonna share the screen. Olmsted sent the package again like they usually do every month. And under the new contract that went into effect in August, they are responsible for providing this update from the months of April all the way through the months of November. So this is the last update that we would be getting for this season. And you can see some of the stuff that we've got. And we planted orders 150 through 149 was actually the one for TMP. So 149 through 160. And you can see he's added all of that stuff in. Some of them he didn't need to do additional watering at this point, but the stuff at TMP, he's already gone back and watered stuff this month and done that. So that you can see was done, and my screen is blocked here. On October 21st, he went out and redid stuff. So those were the last times he did any watering.
Yeah, I would imagine there won't be any watering for next month.
I've asked him to make sure he takes the gator bags off over at Oak Hills, the trees I mentioned there. And also too, one of the things we wanted to just mention maintenance wise, if you guys have any suggestions, Audrey Kazarin has called related to those trees. I guess the deer are starting to rub up against them. And I don't know whether we put some snow fencing around them. Any suggestions?
Got to fence them off.
Yeah, it's fenced.
Fence them off.
Physical barrier is usually the best bet. There's no repellent of any type. It's actually a buck rub. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you, I don't know what detail National Park Service is using. I'll look at that. If it looks reasonable, I'll send it to you, but otherwise just a wire fencing or a wire, some sort of collar. I don't know what's more trouble, much more work, but they've got to be fenced.
If you've got anything, could you send it to me? Because I'll see, because obviously Olmsted's going to charge to install something like that. I'll see if I can get Highway to go over and do it.
Yeah, it'd be better if the city could do it.
Okay.
would
That's
the
it for that.
staff be willing to participate in that by any chance?
Who, Rich?
Who?
The staff at Oak Hills, since they were the recipients of the trees?
I could ask, but I don't know how far that'll go.
I think it's worth
So I
that.
can ask though and see if they will, and as a backup plan, I'll see if highway can do it. But yeah, I'll ask and see if they'll take care of it. Jim will work on it.
Okay.
'Cause really, it's nothing but driving some stakes in the ground and putting a little snow fence around it. It shouldn't really be that much work, especially for the golf course.
No, it's not that much work. I know they have a reduced force this time of year, but also the maintenance on the course is reduced once they're done with the leaves quite a bit.
Okay, I can ask them.
Okay, great. And then Tree City USA recertification.
All right, that's due January 15th, so I'm gonna get that. I've got stuff that we've already started to put together for that. Does anybody have anything else that they want included? If pictures, anything, if you do, please send it to me. I know this is a carryover from last month again too, but I want to make sure we get everything we need. And then Delene, if you could start putting the budget numbers together for us, that would be helpful.
Will do.
Yeah, because I usually work on it like the week between Christmas and New Year's, because it's usually pretty quiet around here.
Okay.
Coming up quick. And then I saw Jeff, you zoomed in with us, but I think he came up as Alan. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. I'm Alan. I'll change my name, but my name is Jeff Scher. Newly minted, elected president at the Norwalk Tree Alliance. I don't know if this is my time or not, Rich.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
So the election results were myself as president, Anna Thurston as VP, Jennifer Wilcox as clerk, and Ashley Woods to continue as treasurer. So we're excited with this new sort of fresh blood in leadership, and we're excited, looking forward to the year. Another new development that we did was, or recently, was hire a part-time nonprofit coordinator, which is a first in Norwalk Tree Alliance history. So it was a big sort of step forward. And what she's going to do is basically help us organize and help us come up with strategic fundraising goals and just ways to execute that. So we're excited about that new development. And one other new thing, actually, just to go in with Lauren, she's just her experience was just great. I mean, she had worked with and developed larger nonprofits throughout the country, one specifically in Hawaii that dealt with tea and just local agricultural systems. I don't want to speak for her, but she just impressed the ad hoc sort of interview or hiring committee that we had, which was myself, Anna, and Alan. There were the applicants that didn't get selected were also impressive, just coming over from, the resumes were coming in from all over the East Coast and the US really. But just it really impressed us and kind of humbled us. But we selected Lauren. She was super excited. She has good energy coming in. So we're excited for that hire. And then recently we hosted a successful fundraiser. It was a huge success. Paul and Chris Torrey were in attendance, along with 30 other people total, which is pretty good for trees. We think we were talking that at the fundraiser that, you know, if we had hosted this maybe 10 years ago, we'd honestly have like 3 people there who were interested, and we had 30 interested local people, residents, and we donated, or we fundraised about $2,800, which was a good success. And it was hosted and organized by NTA board members. Thank you to Susan Simmons for hosting. And the appetizers were donated by SRO from Scarsdale, who the owner is a local resident, Norwalk resident. And it was our first one ever. We were trying it out. It was a big success, and we're excited to sort of take that pilot and expand it into the broader city of Norwalk, and, you know, get more people involved, more people interested and just more people aware of what we do as an organization. So we're excited about that. And one other thing, we already had from that fundraiser one new friend who would be willing to host an event similar in the future, which was good. And then as far as planting goes, the most recent planting that we just recently did was plant a sugar maple at Ponus Ridge Elementary School. We've been kind of in talks with the teacher, and we look forward to, or a teacher there, and just the staff in general over there, potentially looking at planting more trees there. So we'll have to kind of assess the space, but just exciting all around to close out the year. And we'll, with Lauren, we'll be looking to develop sort of an event schedule for the year 2022, next year. So we'll have some things to look forward to.
Awesome. And
The fundraiser was great. It really worked out well, and it was funny because one of the things we were talking about, both Chris and I mean, the two of us have worked for the city, for Chris about 30 years, me almost 29, and we didn't realize that the people on Covewood have the view that they had, because the view from Susan's deck looked a little bit like, almost like what Delene has up for her screen background. It was unbelievable. The night we had a sunset like that, and there was a lot of people there. We were really surprised at how many people showed up.
Yeah, it was great. And thank you for Paul and Chris for being there. And you guys both spoke on behalf of the city, and people were excited.
awesome.
You're welcome. It was great. It was a good time. It was a really good time overall. And Susan did a great job with it and hosted people at her house too, which you got to give her props for that.
Well, you forget how nice Norwalk waterfront views are. We tend to forget.
They are nice.
Because a lot of
It
them
was an
are,
unbelievable view that night.
yeah, no, I mean, many of the views are
Reminded
private.
you of something you'd see up in like Kennebunk or Ogunquit, Maine.
Well, congratulations, Jeff. We look forward to hearing more from you and updates from the NTA as the year progresses, and wishing you guys the best of 2022 and happy holidays, of course. On
Thank
other,
you.
I just wanted to say Erica normally runs these meetings, and I'm happy to say that she's currently picking up her son from his freshman first visit to college. So he's home for the first time since he started, and wish her very well. And she's been doing a spectacular job running these meetings, and I couldn't be happier the way she does it. So just wanted to throw that in, some kudos to her.
Kudos. I hope she's not picking them up in LaGuardia, because it's a zoo.
Driving up to UNH, I believe.
All right, much easier.
Or maybe Amtrak. I forget what she said.
I think she said something about hosting like 17 people for Thanksgiving too.
Better than me. Otherwise, any other items on other business?
Just where are we at with our Maritime Center trees?
I haven't heard anything else from Chris
Can we
on
bump
that.
them? Yeah, can we bump them maybe? You want me
Yeah,
to-
I gotta talk with Chris on that, because I think he was working with them on it.
Yeah, I'm just, just think we need to keep it on the agenda,
All right,
because,
I'll mention it to him and see if he can provide any information on that.
okay. I don't know, Paul, are we just moving forward on East Avenue, or?
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up. That was the next thing. Brad and Mercy Craighead have been doing a great job going around. They've been working and coordinating with Peter and I, and then a gentleman from TMP that's a part-time person there, an intern, and trying to put a list together. And they've been contacting various property owners, the churches, things like that, to see who wanted trees. And right now, it looks like they're up to the potential of 31 trees. And it looks like there's about 5 or 6 of them that would be in the snow shelf, and others that would be on private property. So it's a combination of the two, and it looks like we'll be in pretty good shape for that. And if we can get any of them in, and that's kind of what I was talking about before, If we can get any of them in this fall, we'll try and do that. If not, then what we'll do is carry them over to the spring, but it's 31 trees, and TMP said that they would sponsor 11 of them that would be in the snow shelf.
Could be good. And I don't know whether that they got, the variety we picked for the snow shelf is not necessarily on the list, but it could certainly be added at the correct price. And I was just thinking if we shouldn't at some point start putting out in our little guidance for liaison, what to look for in the snow shelf issue, because that's not necessarily going to not be an issue moving forward. So we might need a little more guidance after having walked with Brad and Tracy, is it? Pointing out things to them about trees that, we take inherently, we just understand them very quickly. But there are things you don't necessarily look for in a snow shelf that perhaps we need to document. So this is.
Yeah, and a lot of those snow shelf ones, I've been going out personally to look at them too. Like Peter said, we walked it together, wanting to make sure that the width is wide enough. There aren't any service gates in there. And then the normal stuff, and then also too, the overhead wires, just seeing that we're clear of any of that kind of stuff too. So there definitely needs to be documented for the liaisons, and I've been doing some of the personal inspections on those to make sure we're not putting trees in an area where they're going to end up either dying, causing sidewalk issues, or getting up into the wires, or end up getting cut down.
Because it's just some of the things we haven't really focused on. And since this is an issue that's going to be on our plate for a while to come, we need to just take care of it. The other thing is I have gone out to Oak Hills. I took a look at it. I have a conceptual approach in my brain about what to do. I just haven't had a chance to document it for you.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Peter.
Because I know that's a little bit on the wayside. It took me a little while to figure out where it was, even though it's right in the middle of the line. I didn't realize how imposingly important that site was. I thought it was somewhere in the back lot, but it's the front drive, and I didn't realize.
Right in the front of the driveway.
Yeah, so I have a different approach, and so my question is it putting it together with you, and do we have a sit down with the constituents, an informal
What I'd
discussion?
like to do is, I talked with Audrey already. If we have a plan, and when I walked it with Audrey, we kind of gave a list of the trees that I talked to you about. And when we put that together, said, okay, we come up with a plan, we can touch base one more time, and then I'm going to take it back to Eversource because they are supposed to pay for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, so I'll just throw out, I'm thinking Rich about Juniper virginiana, because they don't get that big. They're not going to damage those wires ever, and they'll take the abuse, and they're evergreens. So,
Yeah.
they won't get up necessarily to the heights that we have a problem with, but they can be very effective in creating, some visual barrier. So that's where I'm thinking, and some other native flowering trees. So that's where my brain is at the moment.
I think that would look
Obviously, this would be a
fine.
spring planting.
Excuse me?
Obviously, this would be a spring planting,
It
so.
could be a spring, it could be a early March. It could be a late February. It depends when they get the trees.
Okay.
Because we sort of missed, not that we missed the window, but I don't think Olmsted will want to do it right now. But by the time we get Audrey sign off and it goes through, it'll be Christmas. So it's
Yeah, that should be slated for a spring planting, I would think.
as early as they can do it. So we'll prep it for that. And you also have to get approval on the budget from Eversource. So there's a process.
And that's exactly why I mentioned it too. So if you've got a plan you're thinking of, whenever you've got time, put it together after the holidays, then we'll get together with the constituents out there, Audrey, make sure they're okay with it and the golf course is okay with it, and then take it to Eversource for approval and then get it done for the spring.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
just one more quick little note. I was out in Laurel Hollow Nursery out in Jamesport, Long Island 3 weeks ago, and I saw some wonderful Pinus flexilis. It's a tree we haven't used. I haven't used it in 30 years. But the reason I bring it up is because I asked him, I said, how is it dealing out here with the salt tolerance? And he says he does not burn like the pine, the white pine. I don't know that they get inundated with, salt water, but I'm throwing it out there to put it in the notes so we don't forget to think about Pinus flexilis in areas that are near or close to the waterfront. So it's just a, moving forward, we might want to think about that evergreen more than we have.
What was his comment with the salt exposure?
It doesn't burn with salt spray.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And there are two very nice Pinus flexus on the south lawn of the Matthews Mansion. They're really beautiful. In case you
What
actually,
would be the availability in nurseries around here?
well, he had lines of them, but you know, you have to ask.
Yeah,
That's Long Island. It's not that far away.
not that far away. But the other thing with the Oak Hills planting is if we try to line up February or March, the nurseries probably won't have stock yet.
No, but they can order. They'll use their real sales will order them. But no, whenever they can get them, as early as they can get.
Yeah.
So
And just to follow up with what Peter's saying, for all of us, for the spring plantings, depending on what we have left in the budget, but especially for fall plantings, 2022, looking pretty promising that we're going to have a much larger budget. So it's never too early to start looking for planting locations and projects. So everybody keep their eyes open as we're looking for those, and encourage our liaisons to come up with sites as well. I know the Sonia's place and Aiken Street, I went by after they planted them. I think they look spectacular. It really made a huge impact.
And just so you're aware too, what we did for the capital budget this year, to follow up on what Rich is talking about with the money for after July 1st of 22, what we did is broke it up into two sections. In the capital budget, all of the engineering projects have what's a design section and a construction section. So what we did this year, usually we put the tree planting in as a construction section. We upped that amount, asking for more money for that. But in the design section too, knowing with the new ordinance that's been passed, that we've got two studies that we'd be looking to possibly do an RFP to get done for the overall management plan update, as well as the yearly state of the forest. We put some money in for each one of those to try and get that approved. And what we would do is, since that management plan was once every 5 years, we've rotated that in the capital budget 5-year plan, and then kept the design for the individual state of the forest accounting every year. And depending upon how we're going to work that out, we can move accordingly, but we're putting money in for that. Plus, in the construction section of the capital budget, the money for actually planting trees at an increase from what we've had in the past also.
So I got my fingers crossed. So I'm hoping all those get approved and passed, and it should be a fantastic year for next year.
And to give you an idea, right now, Rich and Delene and I were talking before the meeting started. Right now, if we were to go through and we were to do we've got 11 trees up on Elmwood that we've already known we need to do. Erica's wanted to be able to, and I agree with the new tree liaisons that come on, want to give them the ability to put trees in their neighborhoods. So we've got trees that might be coming in there. And then if we have about another 20 or so from East Avenue, between that, we could have 40, 50 trees for the spring. And we've got $20,000, 21,000 roughly is what we think we're going to have for the remaining budget till July 1st. So we've got more trees listed right now that we know we're going to have for orders than we've actually got money for, which is another reason we're asking for more money as of July 1st.
well, just while I'm thinking about capital improvements on streets going into 2022, Paul, I think last year you put together a list of where you were headed for capital improvements in terms of
Yes.
escapes. So that would be a target area for new trees as well.
Yes, and I can have, once we get that final list done for the paving program and sidewalk program between the two, we'll pull that out and have that same kind of thing, and I'll distribute it. Yes.
Great. Okay, any other comments? Otherwise, I'm going to motion to adjourn the meeting.
You just can't get with that dinner table, can you?
No, can't get away. Okay, got a second, please?
Well, Cindy, you say hello, Cindy.
Hello,
Hi,
Cindy.
I'm sorry I
Happy
was
Thanksgiving.
late.
No, thank you for the,
Crazy this week.
upfront warning on that. We knew you were going to be a little late chiming in. You gave us a quorum, though. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I got a question. You guys want to go back to the minutes and officially approve them then?
Yeah. Peter made some modifications to the minutes, and if we have a quorum, we can officially approve them.
Did you get my copy, Cindy? You might want to open it up.
I did And you know what? Let me try to. Oh, here it is. Couple of notes on the minutes.
I think we're page 3 or something. They're all in markup. I don't know where they are. Page 5, maybe. Page 5. Or Darlene, do you want to make corrections and send them out again for real approval?
It's up to you, however you guys wanna.
I mean, we're not meeting next month, so I don't know that it matters. Does it, Paul?
Erica has said basically that she probably would be canceling the meeting, but I'll wait for her to officially announce that. So the meeting minutes would be carried over until January to be approved from October.
I mean,
Otherwise, we could approve them as amended. It's up to you guys.
Looking at it now.
I think, Darlene, you were going to go back and review your audio as well.
Yeah, if you want to table them, we could do that.
I think you need to review your audio because I'm not sure of those couple issues in terms of, like I said, my number 11, maybe there's a reorganization because it's like two ideas that belong together and one is separate. And I'm not quite sure how we discussed it. I don't remember what Erica said about parks and schools.
Well,
And she's not here to explain it. If she were here, we could fix it.
I won't be able to approve them without a quorum, so we'll have to roll over to the January meeting then.
Okay,
There's nothing critical in it.
no,
Modify them, we'll send them back out when the January meeting will motion to approve the both minutes from this meeting and the prior.
okay.
Well, it was nice meeting you all. Thanks for having me.
Welcome
Thanks,
aboard.
Ken. Welcome
Yeah, I
to the
look
club.
forward to working with y'all.
Everyone have a
Good to
happy
have you, Jeff.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
everyone.
Yeah,
Happy
happy
holidays.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Very well.
Hey.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.